Hi guys, this is CTG here. Today's new video is my thoughts after 2 years of ownership of this Jeep Compass 2020. Let's get straight into it. Now this is the limited plus model of the Jeep Compass, which is the top of the line model of it, and it comes with a 1.4 liter multi-air turbo engine which produces 160 horsepower. Even though sometimes I felt like it had turbo lag, it's quite sufficient on the highways. And at that time we actually wanted the diesel variant of this car, but it didn't come with an automatic gearbox, so we went with the petrol engine. But the problem is that it has very bad gas mileage compared to the diesel variant, but we didn't actually realize that until we bought the car and used it. Also, this is the 4x2 variant rather than the 4x4 because as I said before, the petrol variant at that time only came with the 4x2 variant. So this is the top of the line petrol spec engine. Now, as you can see, the interior is a plain white interior with red accents on it, and this interior actually came standard with all the limited plus models, and it's actually a great quality finish interior, and I actually quite like it. But one of the major problems of the interior of this car is the seats. It is actually very uncomfortable for long drives, and due to this we had to fit this external pads here so that our necks don't get stiff while driving. And also the back seat of this car is also not very comfortable, and during the long journey we actually had to bear with a lot of back pain, and it was actually quite unbearable. And I hope that in the new model they fix it. And also one of the letdowns of this car was that in the Indian variant of this car it didn't have the ventilated seats, which is actually very bad, because at this price point we'll actually expect it to have this all these ventilated seats, the heated steering wheel, all that options, but in the Indian variant it doesn't have. Now in this car we do have some new creature comforts which is a new in this price point. One of them is lumbar support. The button is actually here, you can see this one. We can adjust the lumbar support, and it's great for long driving. It also has electric seats in only the driver's seat. Also the lumbar support is only in the driver's seat. Also this is the infotainment system. If you can see this, I'll just turn the car on. If you can see it, this it will just come up. This is the infotainment system. If you can see it, it's a large big one. In the limited plus model only, I think it's an 8.5 inch model, and this is the full gloves and a box. So overall the interior of this car is quite nice, and also the speaker system is also very nice. It has got a great bass to the speaker. It also has a panoramic sunroof, if you can see this, and overall it's a great place to be in. Another feature of this great car is the memory seats. As you can see, the settings are here. It can remember up to 2 people's settings, and it's quite great. It works properly, and it's quite nice, and you don't have to fiddle with the settings all the time. The Jeep Compass also has the automatic headlights, which we can see here, and also automatic wipers, which makes it really easy to use. If you can't differentiate which Jeep Compass model a certain car is, you can actually look at the wheels and can understand it. Now only the limited plus model has these wheels. It's an alloy wheel, and if we think about the limited wheels, it's actually a spoke wheel. This is a 5-spoke wheel splitting into a 10, and for the limited it's actually only a 5-spoke wheel, and for the others it's a small other type of wheel which is not looking that great. The tires that come standard with the limited plus model is the Bridgestone tires, and all other models of the Jeep are the Firestone ones. There are small differences between them actually in the tread, in the off-road capabilities, and in the road noise. a slight difference that this is great in all of them, and that's the difference, but it's not that noticeable. If you want to notice it that much only, you can actually see it. Now the boot capacity of the Jeep Compass is about 430 liters, and for our use I felt that it's quite adequate, and it's also really easy to load the luggage into it because it's actually somewhat flat here, and it does not drag around here. Also, for some of you who you may be curious, the stepney is right here. Now the ride quality of this car, I found it was actually great, but even though the seats were a letdown, it's actually quite smooth, and it smooths out the bumps and you don't feel it quite much. But even though that's the case, the seats make it quite harsh to live in there, and for even a 3-hour journey it's quite unbearable. But the suspension is really great. One day when the car was being driven, it actually gave out a warning, warning us about the ABS lock, and we stopped the car, and when we turned it off and on again, 3 other new lights popped up, a parking sensor light and another ABS light. We couldn't figure out what it was. We limped it to our house and we called the Jeep dealership. They told us that it might be the ABS sensor, and we gave it to them for testing, and sure, it was the ABS sensor, and we found out that it is actually a quite common problem in this car, and it is actually very bad, but we were under warranty, so it got covered under there. Around 2500 rpm, we feel that this car loses some power, and that's because of the turbo lag. It's actually quite bad because up until like 3500 rpm you don't get any power, and then all the power comes in at about that time, and we start to gain speed. This is actually quite bad because if you want to go for an overtake, this will cost quite the trouble for you, and we have been in some kinds of trouble because another issue that I found in this car was the comfort of the elderly people. If you see here, it is actually a very big slit here, or a door sill if you might. This is actually a very big problem for the elderly people because when they try to get in it, they actually by mistake step on it, and they might even break the plastics there, and it is a big inconvenience for them to climb in because of their knee problems and all. I found this as a very big problem for some of the demographic. Now let me tell you some perks of this car. This is my personal opinion, but I do like the styling of this car. It actually looks like a Grand Cherokee in the front, and I quite like it. The second one is it is a great daily driver. As I said before, it's a smooth riding car, so you won't feel that much of a bumps or the potholes in the road. So it's actually quite great. And the third thing is the interior. It's a great thing to sit in, even though it's a shame that the seats are bad. The leather, the quality of it is all great. The infotainment system is also great. It also supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It's great. The interior, inside the gauge cluster, there's a small screen which you can use to sort out the informations like the range, the battery voltage, etc. Overall, I think it's a great car in my personal opinion. Even though the price is not justified, it's a great car overall. If you want to use it for like 5 to 10 years, depending upon your availability and all, it's a great car in my opinion.